around us. And but I want us to be united as a people. Kenya is much more important than any one of us. If Kenya burns, we have no country. You've seen around us, Somalia, from 1991 up to today, is in turmoil. Look at South Sudan. Look at DRC. Look at Ethiopia. And some other countries around us here. It is better to have peace that we're having here and push and go and have a peaceful election than to have turmoil in this country. Because if it disrupts, you don't know the end. That is the message that I want to convey here. And finally, I want to say that Parliament must not try to change the Constitution because of narrow ends. The Constitution that we brought here brought devolution. Devolution need to be defended. Today there's a Gazette notice. They are saying that they want to amend the Constitution in order to legalize this CDF national government. What does national government have to do in the counties? In counties, we have counties which have got executive powers to implement. Let the national government let go of resources to the counties as provided for the Constitution. Health is devolved, provide the fund down there. Roads also is devolved. You don't need Kura and Kera. Have only Kenha for the national government, dealing with international highways, national trunk roads, and feeder roads, and leave all the other roads in the regions to counties and send the money down there. Why should you be building markets for counties? Let counties build a market themselves. How about affordable housing? Let counties build affordable housing. Then you will not be talking about 15%. You will be talking about 35 to 40% devolved funds. Then you can blame the governors if they're not working. But you cannot blame Governor Sakaja for roads in Nairobi which are not under his jurisdiction. Most of the roads in Nairobi are not county government roads. They are all Kura and Kera roads. What is Kera doing outside Nairobi as a city, the capital of the country? So let devolution work in the honor of Dr. Garu. I want to end by saying, may the Lord rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
Yes, welcome to this broadcast today. It's 23 minutes past 11 p.m. East African time. And of course, you know, whenever you see political discussion here in Africa 24, you know that it's time now to discuss what is happening on matters concerning politics, and also tend to give you the platform also to come here, join, and talk to other Kenyans directly on what is happening. But you know, as we start, remember this is Africa 24. That is the deadline. And make sure you follow Africa 24 in all social media platforms. You follow Africa 24 in Facebook, of course. You follow us in Instagram. You follow us, most important, in YouTube. We have a lot of news there. Africa 24, and then you will be one of these big family. Make sure you follow us. So political discussion, of course, we know that Fred Okengo Matiang'I today he was in Kisii for that welcoming party, and that is a welcoming celebration whereby he was received with very much respect. Of course, a lot of respect was seen today from Kisii, and different political analysts also have given their views about Fred Matiang'I going to Kisii, and we are going to discuss all those because you know that the former Interior Cabinet Secretary and also former Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Education, did a fantastic job when he was in those two ministries during Uhuru Kenyatta regime, and now he's seen as one of the key political leaders who are going to vie for 2027. Is Matiang'I ready for 2027? And do you think that is going to give a tough competition for William Samoei Ruto when it comes to 2027? Join us here at Africa 24 through the link that I've shared there. You will see the link. You click the link and then you will join us here live in Africa 24 as we discuss what is happening on matters concerning politics. Because in Africa 24, this is where you get the best platform to also talk to other Kenyans directly on what is happening. Also, remember to also join us also by sending the messages through the chat over there, and then we will be reading your messages directly here in Africa 24. Also, the death of a Kaspul member of parliament who was shot along Gong Road, that is near Dista University, and it has raised a lot of concerns on the insecurity cases that we have. This is after what we witnessed in Narok, whereby a lot of people were injured during the Narok saga. Also, it is during this time whereby we are having this blood parliamentary documentary that was released by one of the mainstream media houses, and of course the international media houses that we have in Kenya. Where are you joining this beautiful conversation? Through the link that I've shared there. You can join us live. Also, send your short messages through Africa 24, and we will give you the best platform. Also, join the studio, and we will also enjoy having you here. Fred Matiang'I, of course, today he was received with a lot of respect for people in Kisii, and this also has raised a lot of concerns on who is going to be the next president of the Republic of Kenya, that is in 2027.
Na sisi wakati wote yona jaya lero asenge ito kweta baragase ito musiga kainu wansi abantu aminto mwabere mo bombori na utagoja olendo kwana na bande ora na toka bosio kwana na bande umekubali niongee na wengine kutoka pande zote za Kenya, tuende kutoka hapa twende Rift Valley, twende Central Province, twende Eastern kule Ukambani, Meru, twende pande ile yetu ya West Coast Province, twende Western pia tuongee, hata ndugu wale wote tuko nao hapa ngapo tuongee sisi wote. Kwa nini? Kimono tuna na baraia bange ba mito tuacha na barabua, osikoni abaishimwa watu na wale maigari mozipi, abaye msiye na wala gama na ya Nyamira na halaria, mheshimiwa Nyaribo, mheshimiwa Kinasi na halaria, mheshimiwa Choke na Bande, mheshimiwa Omiri na wale gari njema na sana, mheshimiwa Barongo na wale mheshimiwa Tony, ngane kibage ndiye taike makwani, mheshimiwa Barongo taike mtuma njema leo. Haya. Gracias. Haya, mheshimiwa kibage. Keumbu mbatara, keumbu pawa, mwate wa Matiang'I, keumbu pawa. Keumbu pawa. Matiang'I wapi? Matiang'I wapi? na nemba tebiga. Abantu baminto moni wete. Sai no muyo toireni bagatu arani iga. Tuachire iga, tuwapira mbia mwana zama zabaino. Na ende bila tumesimama na sisi wakati wote. Yona chaiga lero. Asenge ito kweta baraga se ito musiga. Kainu wansi abantu baminto. Mwabere mbo bombori nga utakuja ulendo kuana na abande orebu na toka babosio mwabere kuana na abande umekubali niongee na wengine kutoka pande zote za Kenya tuende kutoka hapa tuende Rift Valley tuende Central Province tuende Eastern kule Ukambani Meru tuende pande ile yetu ya West Coast Province tuende Western pia tuongee hata ndugu zetu wale wote tuko nao hapa ng'ambo tuongee sisi wote. Kwa nini? Asibono tuna baraia bangi.
That was Fred Matiang'I homecoming ceremony that we witnessed today. A lot of people, large number of people came out in Kisii to welcome Fred Matiang'I when he was being received. Is Matiang'I the best candidate for 2027? Because you know that most Kenyans are saying that it's going to be tough competition between William Ruto and other leaders in 2027 because they are saying that we are going to get a new president. Of course, it's a competition and competition is always healthy. Is Matiang'I the favorite candidate on winning 2027 general election from what you have seen today? Is he going to pull the same amount of people when he goes to Western, when he goes to Ukambani, when he goes to Northeastern, when he goes to Eastern, when he goes to Central? Is he going to pull the same number of people that we saw today? Join us through the link. I have shared the link. You click the link and then you will join the studio directly. Fred Matiang'I homecoming ceremony that we saw today in Kisii, and some of the political analysts, they are saying that if Matiang'I can pull those number of people, does it mean that he is the best candidate for 2027? And also, others are saying that he can only pull that crowd because it's his own homeland. He cannot pull the same crowds when he goes to Wajir, Mandera, and those other counties. But others are saying that it is now the start of the new era because they believe that Matiang'I is the best candidate for this year, for this country. So who is going to be the running mate of Freddy Matiang'I?
Tebiga abantu baminto mwenyi wete esano muyoto ireni bagatwarwanire iga twakire iga tuwakira mbire munasema sabaino naende vile tumesimama na sisi wakati wote yonacha iga lero asenge into kweta baragase into musiga kainu wasi abantu baminto mwabere mukombori nga utagoja ugenda ukwana n'abandi ore munatoka babusio ukwana n'abandi umekubali niongee na wengine kutoka pande zote za Kenya, tuende kutoka hapa tuende Rift Valley, tuende Central Province, tuende Eastern kule Ukambani na Meru, tuende pande ile yetu ya West Coast Province, tuende Western pia tuongee hata ndugu zetu wale wote tuko nao hapa ngapo tuongee sisi wote. Kwa wana ni Kibono tuna na baraia bange ba minto twacha na barabwa osikole abaisiwa watu na wale maigari bo zipi abaye msiere na wala gaba na Nyamira aria mheshimiwa Nyaribo mheshimiwa Kinazina aria mheshimiwa Choke abande mheshimiwa Omiri na wale gari ndio sana mheshimiwa Barongo na wale mheshimiwa Tony ngane kibage ndiye teke mbao kwani ndio mheshimiwa Barongeta yake kama ndio ngane haya kampia haya mheshimiwa kibage keumbu mpatara keumbu pawa mate wa Matiang'I keumbu pawa Matiang'I wapi Biamore naende na kitoko wote si Matiang'I kawene reti dari maridadi Tebiga abantu baminto mwenyi wete esano muyoto ireni bagatwarwanire iga.
Someone is saying that Matiang'I is the best candidate for this country. But also, I was following some of the conversation in the X platform today, and most of people they are saying that if Matiang'I gets this seat for 2027, then it's going to be a tough time for William Ruto, because he's saying that Matiang'I is the best candidate for 2027 from what he's saying, because we are very sure that Kalonzo will be there. We shall have even Rigiji. They have not decided the person who is going to lead. They have not decided on the best candidate who is going to represent the coalition, because a coalition is being formed between Karua, Kalonzo, and also we saw Matiang'I there. But today he said that he is ready. So maybe Kalonzo is going to be the running mate of Matiang'I in 2027. Is this possible? Do you think it's possible for Matiang'I to choose Kalonzo for 2027? Because even yesterday's night, we saw how most people they came out to prepare for Matiang'I homecoming today. Take a look. That is the key. That is the key. That is the key. A lot of people coming out to welcome ready for Matiang'I. They are ready for Freddy Matiang'I. They are ready for Freddy Matiang'I. That is KC. Remember, you can also join us here and we discuss, because we are having a discussion on the political heat when it comes to this country as you approach 2027, because you know that 2027 is very close from what you have seen, and also the politics are still getting to give that line clear from what we are seeing, because several leaders are coming out. Of course, you know that the ODM and opposition led by Raila Odinga, after the signing of the MOU, there are a lot of concerns that there is no opposition. The ODM leaders saying that we have opposition. We just signed a memorandum of understanding between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. So it does not mean that that is a coalition. And also we have seen also members of the ODM saying that it's going to be a hot political run in 2027, because others have joined the government, others have not joined the government. Because you remember, Junet Mohammed, he has been quiet. The only way he only speaks is during the parliamentary session, but we have seen how he used to walk around with Raila Odinga during the 2022. The likes of us and Joe, they are now silent, and we have not heard from them. The only opposition leader we have been hearing from him is Babu Owino. So it's a change of political dynamics, because we have seen how leaders have changed after the formation of a broad-based government. We have seen others are still strong with their stand. Others have been lured by the broad-based government. Do you think that Freddy Matiang'I is ready for 2027 and is going to clinch 2027 general election? That is what you will share with us through the social media. And also, after you shared, then you join the studio through the link that I've shared there, and you'll be part of this discussion. I can see Bernard Lagat. Bernard Lagat, karibu sana, join the studio and tell us your views about Freddy Matiang'I today being received like a king in Kisii. But also in terms of politics, you remember several leaders, they have really changed because they're giving opinions that are contrary to what most of Kenyans expected. And yesterday, that is on Thursday, we saw the Labor Day celebration in Nairobi. That is where we had Atwoli, who is the Secretary General of KOTU, saying the ground is ready for 2027 and they are going to elect William Ruto. He is the leader of KOTU for a long time, and he's saying that the ground is now saying William Ruto for 2027.
Give some few words and observe protocol, other protocols for you to come and say. The other thing I'm being reminded by my deputy that I had forgotten ni mambo ya hizi vitu tunakatwa, housing, nini, taxation. It should not be on gross salary. Hizi vitu vinatakana viwe on basic, so that gross, umefanya overtime, umefanya nini, it's not interfered with. And I know Your Excellency will look at that. All deductions, salary deductions, statutory deductions should be at basic, not on gross, where somebody might have toiled very hard to work on overtime and he doesn't realize something. Mwisho, Your Excellency, usitishike. Iko watu wengi wanapenda kutisha sana. Mimi nilikuwa hapa President Kenyatta akiwa president. After 3 years we had a problem in the government. Jaramogi left. Nilikuwa hapa when Moi was a president. After a few times there was a lot of problems. Nyinyi nyote mnajua until up 1982. Mpaka when he was leaving, kila saa watu bila Moi yote inawezekana. Nimekuwa hapa President Kibaka akiwa kwa kiti mimi, and I served him. Kibaka alitengeneza kila kitu Nairobi, he improved the economy. But 2007, how wananchi voted him out, we had to do some ukarabati. Sasa nimekuwa hapa wakati wa Uhuru. Uhuru ni rafiki yangu sana. But you could hardly see him outside the way you are outside, you are visible everywhere. But he managed to finish his 10 years. Hawa wa Kenya unasikia ground ni mbaya. Hapa ground hapana mzuri. Ruto must go. Na sio ground ni mbaya. Wewe anasema ground ni mbaya. Mwenyewe hana ground. Unasikia hiyo? Wacha tuwache mtu amalize kazi yake. I saw watu wa press, mtu ameandika kwa Standard, anasema Atwoli yeye kazi ya trade union. Court is not a political party. We serve the government of the day. We negotiate for our rights. Huyo kijana anataka elewe hiyo. We are not a political party. We are not aspiring to have a president. We must support the government of the day for the stability in the country, which will be extended to industrial stability. Wewe fanya kazi, kama iko makosa, we are principled. We will come out and say, hatufichi. Kama iko watu ambao ni corrupt, we will tell you and take action. Na usitishwe. Let me take that, Brother Mutua, waziri, kuja uongee, alafu hizo protocols zingine utaangalia za kuinvite His Excellency the President. President, I thank you very much for honoring this day. May God bless you. Give some few words and observe protocol, other protocols for you to come.
That is the Secretary General of KOTU speaking during Labor Day celebration, whereby he was saying that ground inasema vizuri, Ruto is there until 2027. And you know, he's the leader of the workers in this country. But most of people, they are giving their diverse opinion about 2027. And do you also believe that Raila will be in the ballot? Because we saw how during the MOU signing has raised a lot of concerns. We have not heard from Edwin Sifuna currently about ODM, but we're having a discussion on who might be the next kingpin of the ODM, the leader of ODM. You know, ODM, it has been actively as the opposition party in this country for more than 16 years. But now we're having it as a political standout on being opposition. Today we saw Esther Pasare saying that Raila will be in the ballot 2027.
The clergy, the Right Honourable Raila Odinga, my Governor Johnson Sakaja, our peers, fellow members of Parliament, distinguished guests, the family of Dr. Francis Ngaru. As we honour his life, Dr. Francis Ngaru, a man of integrity, intellect, service, we are also called to reflect on the times we're living in. The Bishop reminded us of a sobering truth. Our society is grappling with diminishing values. We're losing the very virtues that once anchored our families, institutions, politics, respect, humility, compassion, and the reverence for life. We cannot ignore the sorrow that has gripped the nation following the tragic and senseless killing of our colleague, Honourable Charles Ong'ondo. These acts of violence are a wake-up call, not just to mourn, but to rise and defend the values of men like Dr. Francis Ngaru stood for. Today, I stand in solidarity with his beloved wife, my friend, my sister, Dr. Agnes Mubingaru, a woman of great strength and public service. I stand with their children and the entire family as they bear this immense loss. May you find comfort in knowing Dr. Ngaru's legacy of excellence, humility, mentorship lives on in each of you. Let us honor him by recommitting ourselves to restoring dignity, decency, and purpose in how we lead, live, and love, both in public and private. Allow me to end by quoting Micah 6:8. He has shown you, O mortals, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Now, because there have been some calls here, you know, when you look at me, I mean, first of all, I don't even know what tribe I should say I am. Sometimes I'm told I'm Greek, sometimes I'm told I'm Kikuyu, and sometimes I'm supposed to be Dutch because my grandfather from my mother's side was Dutch. But this man, Raila Odinga, a man that I deeply love, a man that has shown us how to do good politics, doesn't have a shred of tribalism in him. And as I stand in this mountain area, I just want to say that if there's one thing you can take, is the politics of tribalism will not help our country. And for those who are calling for the Right Honourable Raila to run or stand for presidency, we are not the ones who lead Raila Odinga. It is Raila Odinga who leads us. Let him tell us what he wants. And for now, I know the one thing he wants with the broad-based government is that we have peace and stability in this country so we can build prosperity for our people. Kenya is in a very bad place. It's not about politics, it's about people. And I know the Right Honorable Raila Odinga will do right, not by Raila Odinga, but right by Kenya. Because when it comes to love, he loves Kenya first, more than anyone else. And it will be Kenya that guides and informs his direction. So let us not pressure him. Let Raila lead us, not us try to lead him. Thank you and God bless you.
That is Esther Fasaris, of course, the women rep of Nairobi County. She's saying that Raila will be in the ballot 2027. You know, it has been also a hot debate on if Raila is going to be out of the ballot, then what do we expect? Who is going to be the next kingpin? Because it has been tough. Gipsy Kona, I can see you. Tell us, what is your view about Fred Matiang'I today, having that welcoming celebration whereby a lot of people turned out to welcome him? What is your view about it? Do you think that is the biggest threat in Kenya Kwanza government, that he might clinch the 2027 general election? That is Fred Matiang'I. Jonas here live in Africa 24 through the link that I've shared there, and will form part of this beautiful conversation here in Africa 24. Where are you joining us from? And where do you think that Matiang'I did this homecoming today? But of course, we have seen how other members, they have been reacting to the current situation that we have. We also have Beatrice Elachi the other day saying that Ruto is the best president we have in this country, so we'll never have another one. That is what they're saying.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, our parents today, our teachers, and our daughters who are our students today. Bwana asifiwe. Basi tusalamiane kwa hewa. Bwana asifiwe. Tuko State House. Tumekanyaga. Did you claim the land? The Bible says you claim. Did you claim? So before you leave here, what do? Unakanyaga, unaambia Mungu nimekanyaga. Simsimame mbele. Pia mimi siku moja nikuwe president. Ama Your Excellency, today we are here to thank you. And as Nairobi, when you walked with us in our constituencies, the president looked at Nairobi. And you know, it is the first time a head of state to walk into Nairobi, to get into Kawangware ndani, Mathare ndani, Ruaraka ndani, no any other head of state has done that. Yes. And he realized the life we live in is not the life that God would wish us to live in. Yes. And so even as we stand here today, parents, the president would wish, and all of us, that affordable housing, that SHA that everyone talks about it in different ways, that it will help you one day, especially you as a parent of Nairobi. And that Nairobi River that you see today, I'll tell you, Your Excellency, I know we have girls here who have lived Siwa, Mulango. Sijui nini, garbage. But today they walk into Karen and realize the environment, that life outside there is what life they would wish to see in Mathare, in Kibra, in all these places. So for us today here, we are telling God in heaven that you see, if someone holds you, gets you out of that situation you're in, even if you don't like, the only thing you can do is pray for that person. Kwa hivyo wazazi, yetu ni kupiga magoti kuombea Kenya, kuombea Mheshimiwa Rais, aongoze hii nchi. And let me tell you, God knew why he gave us Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Because if there was another president here, na hii Kenya yetu ngumu hivi, angekuwa ashakimbia hii State House. Angekuwa ashapotea, sababu hapa sisi wa Kenya si tuko wagumu, si tuna roho ngumu, si yani tuna judge kujudge, but God in heaven judges and knows each one of us. And therefore, Your Excellency, us is to pray that God will give you that resilience to continue understanding.
Yes, Lachi, when she was speaking, of course, she's the member of parliament for Dagoretti, and she was also supporting the Kenya Kwanza government. Karibu sana, Gerard. Of course, you tell us first your view about Fred Okengo Matiang'i today. Home welcoming that really happened today in Kisii, whereby we saw a lot of people turning out in large numbers to welcome Fred Matiang'i in Kisii. What does this mean? Does it mean that now he has launched officially his countrywide campaigns for 2027? Is it going to be the threat for William Ruto, or this is just a passing cloud? Because today we saw what happened in Kisii. It started yesterday night. Today we saw how people turned out. Is he also able to pull the same crowd when he goes to a northeastern part, when he goes to coastal, when he goes to Kambani, or this is only at his home ground? What do you predict for Matiang'i?
Oh, how are you? Can you hear me? You know, it's today, it's yesterday. Yesterday's a headline of the Standard that carried a headline, saying that, Kenyans are fed up. And truly, the people of Kenya are fed up with a failed regime under William Samoei Ruto. And the people of Kenya have one agenda. And that one agenda is that come 2027, Ruto must go home. They have decided that they are taking Ruto home. The only person they have not decided on is who is going to replace Ruto. But, they're in conformity that, that William Samoei Ruto must go home in 2027. So what you saw in Kisii was being celebrated across the country. If you're on the social media, physically Matiang'i was being welcomed in Kisii, but the people of Kenya across the nation were welcoming him back home. So, the people of Kenya are behind Matiang'i. And, it's not about Matiang'i the person, but it's about the cause that Matiang'i is bringing to this country. And I believe this particular cause is being, fronted by several other people. That could include Natembeya, that could include Kalonzo Musyoka, that could include Martha Karua. So it's not about Matiang'i the personality, but it is about the cause. And the cause is simple. The cause is about removing William Ruto so that we can have a just government in the Republic of Kenya come 2027. And the people of Kenya are in agreement that William Samoei Ruto must go. And the song "Must Go" is a real song, and the people of Kenya are determined to actualize it come 2027. So what you saw in Kisii today is the true spirit of the people of Kenya. That is what is in the hearts of the people of Kenya, across board. They are just waiting for that moment, the moment that is supposed to be in 2027. Although lawyer Willie Sotieno is telling us that, we should go to elections by 2026 in August. So, the matter is in court. If the court says we go for an election in 2026, then in 2026, we are ready to remove William Samoei Ruto and install another president in the Republic of Kenya.
So someone in the comment section is saying that Boniface Kimanze take Matiang'i as a pinch of salt because he is Uhuru's project. Gibbs Sikon in the comment section saying that Matiang'i is just a Uhuru Kenyatta project. That is why taking
You,
him
you,
as
you
a pinch of
know,
salt. In
you
the
know,
comment section also, he's saying that Boniface, it's all about tribal homecoming. So nothing going to change. Nothing going to change. But also gives
so
we have seen how, yeah.
I was saying, you know, if they feel that Matiang'i is somebody's project, you know, why are they panicking? Why are they panicking? You know, if it's a project, then, you know, a project will always fail. You know, that should not make them panic. But unfortunately, you know, I'm seeing, you know, the other side panicking. Why are they panicking if they feel that, you know, Matiang'i is a project? Matiang'i, where we are, you know, is a real cause in this republic, a cause of the removal of William Samoei Ruto through the ballot come 2027. And come 2027, the people of Kenya, we, including myself, we are determined, you know, we remove William Samoei Ruto and we'll install another president, a president who shall adhere to Article 10 on the values and principles of governance in the Republic of Kenya.
Yes, that is, of course, Jared also joining us in the studio. So if you're following us here for the first time, you remember you're discussing about Fred Matiang'i welcoming party celebration. Let's call it celebration today in Kisii. But of course, we know that he comes from Kisii, whereby he is from that area. But he pulled a lot of
And,
people who came to
and
support
before you
him during that.
continue, I want to say a word. You know, there are these comments, you know, on a section of social media where they are saying, you know, associating Raila, Matiang'i with a number of wrong things that happened in the former regime of Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, what we must come get alive to is that, you know, Matiang'i was a cabinet minister in the regime of Uhuru Kenyatta, true. Secondly, you know, Uhuru Kenyatta was also, William Samoei Ruto was also part and parcel to that particular regime. Secondly, we know that Matiang'i is not an angel. He's a human being, he's mortal like me and you. So, you know, as the people of Kenya, we are not looking for an angel. We are looking for a human being who can transform this country. And, you know, as a human being, including yourself, you know, you cannot be short of faults, you know, because we are human, we are mortal. And as human, you know, we all fall short of the glory of God. So, you know, the accusation against Matiang'i for having done A or having done B is a scapegoat. We know where we stand, you know, given a choice between Matiang'i and William Samoei Ruto, always the people of Kenya will go for Matiang'i because, you know, Matiang'i is a better choice than William Samoei Ruto. And that does not mean that Matiang'i is an angel.
Yes, of course. That is Jared, of course, sharing with you here live in Africa 24 on what is happening when it comes to the politics of this country. And also, we welcome you. You join us, so you can see Gipsicon in the comment section. He's also giving us his own views about the current situation, whereby we're discussing about Freddie Onyango Matiang'i when today he was received in such a kind of a reception. We have seen how also other political leaders they are shaping for 2027. But as Gypsy Kona is saying that Matiang'i might be the project of the former president of the Republic of Kenya, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, and that means that we also have something cooking, because without Raila and Ruto, they are together. But now, if Uhuru joins to back up that is Matiang'i, then it also gives that signal for 2027, because you know that Uhuru has influence in Africa, has also influence in Kenya more than anyone else. Because Jared, do you think that Uhuru is more influential to this country and he can contribute to Matiang'i winning in 2027?
You know, anybody wishing away the influence of Uhuru Kenyatta in this country, you know, is a person I'll be sorry for. Because to start with, Uhuru Kenyatta has been president of the Republic of Kenya for 2 terms. So he understands the running of government, the working of government. And he also understands the statecraft, around government. He knows how elections are won. He knows how elections are stolen. So if you're wishing him away, then, you're in big problems. So Uhuru's influence in 2027, whichever side that you'll take, it will have weight. I don't know how heavy the weight will be, but I believe that, Uhuru Kenyatta, wherever he'll go, he'll give it weight. And, that's the reality. How heavy the weight will be, I don't know. But definitely there will be weight wherever Uhuru Kenyatta will go. My brother, I cannot see the host. Can you perhaps proceed? Because I cannot see the host.
And but I want us to be united as a people. Kenya is much more important than any one of us. If Kenya burns, we have no country. You've seen around us, Somalia, from 1991 up to today, is in turmoil. Look at South Sudan. Look at DRC. Look at Ethiopia. And some other countries around us here. It is better to have peace that we're having here and push and go and have a peaceful election than to have turmoil in this country. Because if it disrupts, you don't know the end. That is the message that I want to convey here. And finally, I want to say that Parliament must not try to change the Constitution because of narrow ends. The Constitution that we brought here brought devolution. Devolution need to be defended. Today there's a Gazette notice. They are saying that they want to amend the Constitution in order to legalize this CDF national government. What does national government have to do in the counties? In counties, we have counties which have got executive powers to implement. Let the national government let go of resources to the counties as provided for the Constitution.
We respond to Raila Odinga there, what he is saying. Someone is saying that I want to read this for you, Jared. Jared, we have never had a perfect government. Why can't we give Ruto a chance? Just the way Uhuru, Moi, Kibaki had a chance. Someone is saying, mbona tusimpatie fursa ya kuongoza nchi? But tumeona, Gibbs Ikona tumeona.
Let me answer him. William Samoei Ruto has a chance until the month of August 2027 or the month of August next year, depending on what the court will rule on. So, he still has a chance. So let him work. He has a chance. So I don't know what chance this gentleman wants us to give William Samoei Ruto when he already has a chance.
Yes, of course, Gibbs Ikona, you have listened to what Jared said. Also, we having a situation whereby we just brushing, but also asking on behalf of other Kenyans. Jared, we saw the other day that is Kaspul Member of Parliament. He was shot along Gong Road near Dista University, in that roundabout over there. This is something that has raised concerns on the insecurity cases that we have in the country, and how is this going to be handled is something that also Kenyans are questioning. Why do you have insecurity? Because that is a member of parliament who has his own security, but he was targeted. Does it mean that we have gone to this level whereby if you see something that is in contrary to someone's opinion, your life is in danger? Because we have seen even the family members saying Kasipul member of parliament, where he used to complain that his life is in danger. Are we now going back to those days whereby you are even denied the freedom of expression, of giving your views on about something?
My condolences to the family of the late Kaspul MP Honorable Were. My condolences to the family. In every crime that is committed, the first thing that the police try to investigate is the motive. Whoa, we'll be interested to know what was the motive, behind the killing or behind the assassination of the former MP for Kaspul, Honorable Were. Was it a normal crime where people perhaps wanted to steal from him? Or was it motivated by any other thing? And where I stand, I'm not qualified to give an answer to all those because I believe the police are better placed to provide an answer to all those issues that I've raised. But it's worrisome because we believe that our members of parliament are some of the best protected people in the land. So if a member of parliament can be shot in the manner that Honorable Were was shot, on an open road, and when he has a bodyguard, then to me as an ordinary person who walks on the streets of Nairobi, I've never enjoyed any bodyguard. Where should I measure myself? Because despite that, a member of parliament, had a bodyguard, he ended up being insecure to a point that he was shot and killed. Then where does it leave us ordinary Kenyans, who might never enjoy, the services of a personal bodyguard? So, it's a concern for the people of Kenya. And, just like I've said, perhaps we wait and see what the police will find out as the motive for his assassination. Because the motive of the assassination, I believe, could be in a position to lead us to know why he was murdered. And that's why I'm saying that I'm not best placed to answer some of the questions. And let us allow the police to carry out their investigations, or perhaps they will be perhaps they will be in a position to unveil to find out what the motive towards his assassination was. Because without it is true, it is by knowing the motive that we'll come to a conclusion on why the gentleman Honorable Were was killed. Perhaps that's all that I can have to comment on that matter.
Yes, thank you, Jared. And Gypsy Gone in the comment section is saying that no one deserves to be taken out. It's difficult to know the real assassination, but also we hope that the DC High, they are going to act upon the issue and we get the real details on who killed Kasipul member of parliament, because it's really sudden to see a member of parliament being killed and he has his own security. So it means that if a member of parliament, someone who has security, is being killed, how about the local mwananchi? It's also saddening. But also remember, this is Kenya. We have been complaining about insecurity. A lot of issues are being raised from morning to evening about Kenya, because since Kibaki, the Kenyans are saying they have not seen any leader who has the urge to transform this country. So as we discuss also here, we are also looking forward for a solution, because if this thing is happening, then how about the common mwananchi? So you're joining us here for the first time in the Facebook, YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to Africa 24 for political discussion here that happens every day at 10 p.m. East African time, and we are here now discussing about the politics in this country, matters that concerns the common mwananchi. It is here in Africa 24 where we give you the platform to join and share with other Kenyans on what do you think is really happening Before, of course, we discussed about that, and also we also talked about Raila Odinga warning Babu Owino not to attack Johnson Sakaja. Is this a indirect message for Babu Owino that 2027 also Raila is going to give support to Sakaja?
You know, I listened to Raila Odinga defending Sakaja, and I didn't understand, you know, from what dimension he was defending Sakaja. Because Sakaja is the worst performing governor of Nairobi, you know, since, you know, the initiation of devolution in 2013. I believe he has done worse than, you know, Evans Kidero and Mike Sonko. So he's the worst governor. Nothing is in his government seems to be working. So I don't know on what basis, you know, he's supporting Sakaja. Unless, you know, there's a hidden agenda that you don't understand. And again, by him supporting Sakaja, you know, perhaps that tells the people of Kenya that, you know, Sakaja could be his preferred candidate for governor in 2027. But where does it leave with the residents of Nairobi? You know, I'm a voter in Nairobi here. And I can assure you that come 2027, my vote can never go to Sakaja. Given the political dynamic that we have seen even from today, where, for example, Matiang'I is now coming in forcefully, and we know that, you know, Kalonzo Musyoka has already ditched Raila Odinga. So, you know, in Nairobi, Raila Odinga does not command as much votes as he commanded in 2022, because, you know, the Kamba vote are not on his side. He does not command any of the Kikuyu votes, and now the Kisi votes are also gone. And, you know, we don't know where the Luya votes will go. So, you know, his support for Sakaja, you know, could be something that would not result into much, because, you know, I don't think that, you know, Raila Odinga will stop the people of Kenya from, you know, taking Sakaja home in 2027. Where I stand, I believe that, you know, Sakaja, just like his friend William Samoei Ruto, they are all destined for home come 2027. And it does not matter what Raila thinks or believes, because, you know, Sakaja, as governor of Nairobi, a county I stay in, you know, has failed the people of Nairobi seriously. You know, there's nothing that we are seeing other than optics, other than peers. You know, there's nothing much that we are seeing, especially some of us who live in these estates. You know, there's nothing that you can celebrate that Sakaja has done. So where we stand, we are determined that he'll go home. It does not matter how much Raila Odinga, you know, is trying to defend him, because, you know, he has failed. You know, he has failed as governor. We elected him to perform. He has not performed. Raila Odinga could be having his own personal reasons why he's supporting him, but that's his business. But, you know, where the majority of Nairobians are concerned, Sakaja 2027 PO box to wherever he came from.
Yes, that is Gerard, of course, sharing about the support that Raila is giving directly to Sakaja, the governor of Nairobi. Remember, to always follow us here in Africa 24 for political discussion every day at 10 p.m. East African time. Also want to say it has been short, of course, for the 1 hour we've been here discussing about politics, but I'm going to fix my sound. I can see it has problem. I want to say thank you so much, Joram, for joining us here. Looking forward for more discussion here in Africa 24 TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope to see you next time. Thank you.